my kicks, me and 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 my kicks.
What is going on, YouTube? It's your favorite YouTuber, me and my kicks, and I know I'm a little bit late with bringing this list, but you know, life has always been lifing, and you know, I be collecting shoes, just don't have time to shoot that many reviews and stuff on them like I used to, but I had to drop this video because I did cop a lot of shoes this year. So this is my top 10 sneaker pickups of 2025, man, coming up. Before I get into the list, I just want to say Happy New Year's, Happy Holidays. Hopefully you guys have a happy 2026, and I'm hoping that you guys had a great 2025. You know, I don't drop as much as I used to, but you know, if you've checked out any of my videos, my older videos, any of the videos I did post in 2025, I really appreciate you, and I love the fact that you're checking out this video right now. Just keep it going. You know I don't drop as much, but you know, go and watch some older videos, you know, keep the content up, keep the, you know, my watch play up. I would really appreciate that. But anyways, coming into my number 10 pickup of 2025 is the Nike Air Foamposite Pro Pearls. You know, a lot of people, they didn't necessarily like this color of it because it's not a true pearl. Like, it's like more of a lighter pearl than the original foams, but you know, it didn't matter to me. I like this shoe overall, and I was surprised that these sat because like a lot of people haven't worn pearls for a long time. The last time we got pearls that looked like the actual retro or true pearls, if I'm not mistaken, was the ones that came in that class of '97 pack. But overall, I mean, you know, that came out like a few years ago, and it was a pack, so it cost like $500. But anyways, if you wanted these shoes, you know, you can definitely get them. And if you wear like a smaller size, you can definitely wait on these. You should be able to get these for under retail later on down the line. But these are so clean. You know, it's a nice summer shoe. You know, and obviously it's a Foamposite. You can wear this forever and it don't look beat up. This is definitely a classic shoe, and I'm glad I was able to cop it. Pay retail for it, but I'm not mad. Coming in at number 10 is the Nike Air Foamposite Pro Pearl Edition. Coming in at number 9 is the twofer. We're gonna have the Air Jordan 5 Grapes. You know, they just retro with the Nike Air on the butt, and then you had the Nike Air Jordan 5 Fire Reds with the Nike Air on the butt. I definitely had to get these. I had the older version of these that had the, you know, Jumpman on the back, but you know, I haven't worn them. They're like, you know, I want to say 10 plus years old, both of them, and you know, they say that thing about, you know, if you don't wear your shoes past a certain time, the bottoms start to crumble in and like, you know, going off the sneaker. So I definitely, you know, take mind of that. But I take good care of my sneakers. I make sure they're stored the right way. So I've never ran into that problem. But what I end up doing is I end up like selling the older pairs because I know the newer pairs are coming in. So I don't have to worry about that. I just, you know, get the latest retro of it. And, you know, as far as the quality on the older retros that came out, it wasn't the best quality leather. This is a little bit better. And the fact you got Nike Air on the butt, had to get them again, man. And you know, these are definitely classic colorways. I like the black tongue Air Jordan 5 Fire Reds up over the reflective tongue because it got that 2-3 on the side. So that's why I like this over the silver tongue 5s. But anyways, coming in at number 9 is these Air Jordan 5 Retros, the grape and the fire red black tongues. Coming in at number 8, I know a lot of people gonna hate me for this one, but you gotta go to Air Jordan Retro 4 Brick by Bricks. You know, I like the colorway. You know, you never really seen brick on a shoe. And, you know, and if I didn't have these other shoes in front of it, I definitely would have climbed up to the list. Probably would have made the top 5. But you know, overall, I like the color. It's definitely a great shoe, great material. You know, you like the fact you got that bike air on the back. Overall, it's just nice. But once again, it's just a brick colored shoe. It doesn't really do much for me. And you know, I'm still looking for the right shirt / vest or whatever to complement this the right way. But it's definitely a great shoe. You know, it's not my top 3, but it is in my top 10. Coming in at number 8 is the Brick by Brick 4s. Coming in at number 7, this is another shoe that a lot of people had in their top 5. It's the Nike Air Foamposite Galaxy. Just like everybody else, I was waiting for this to retro, paid retail, no problem, with a smile on my face. You know, you love that Galaxy print. A lot of people went crazy over these shoes when this came out. It was a lot of pandemonium. The old retro, sorry. When these came out the first time, it was a lot of like, you know, pandemic inducing, you know, hype and all that. People were selling these for cars. Like, people was trading their cars in to get a pair of these. Like, it was a lot of pandemonium. But you know, nowadays in the current sneaker culture, people don't really rock foams like that. So when these retro, you was able to get these easy, no problem. But you know, you love that galaxy print, love that, you know, that flight, love that flight tab you can put on there. I usually put it in between the laces, and you know, it's definitely an iconic shoe, and I always wanted this in my collection, and I'm glad that it got into my collection for retail. So you know, if you wear a smaller foot size in this, you can get this for under retail, but I wear a 12 in these, so I couldn't take that risk. But overall, definitely a great shoe. Glad I got it in my collection. Coming in at number 7 is the Nike Air Foamposite Galaxy Edition. Coming in at number 6 is a shoe that, like, you know, I didn't think it would hit my top 10, but the more I look at it, the more I see it in my collection, I was like, man, this is a nice colorway, and this will definitely pop in the summer. It is the Nike Kobe 6 Jalen Brunson, or the Statue of Liberties. These are very nice, man. You rarely see a shoe with this teal and this copper on the back, man. I think the last time we got a shoe that was even close to this was, you know, those Lady Liberty 10s that came out way back in the day when the All-Star game was in New York, and that wasn't like, it had this teal in there. It didn't have this bronze in there. But overall, man, this is a clean shoe. I was able to hit these on the sneakers app, luckily, and resale on these is going pretty crazy, like $400-500. So I'm glad I didn't have to pay that. But overall, this is definitely a clean shoe. Still trying to find a fit to go with it. I believe I got something cooking up, but overall, this is definitely a clean Kobe. And yeah, man, I had to throw these in there. This colorway is crazy. And you know, I like the Kobe 6s in general. So coming in at number 6 is the Nike Kobe 6 Jalen Brunson, or Statue of Liberty colorway. Coming in at number 5 is a shoe that a lot of people had in their top 5 as well, and I had to be part of that crew. It's the Nike Air Jordan 4 Undefeateds. This is a shoe that, you know, everybody wanted way back in the day. Had, you know, this, when this was like limited, people were selling this shoe for 20,000, you know, 10,000, 5,000, like crazy prices, man. And I'm glad that, you know, eventually this retro, and like, you know, this was a little bit expensive for a retro, honestly, because like when I got mine through Undefeated, they charged me like $275 for it, even though the you know, retail price is $220. And you know, that's a little bit high in my opinion, but you know, I mean, luckily I was able to get semi-retail for them. But overall, this is definitely a clean shoe, great colorway. You know, love the fact they put Nike Air on the back and everything like that, man. You know, you got the little, you know, tongue with the Velcro Jumpman joint. Overall, this is definitely a clean shoe. And you know, I'm still getting fits ready for this one, but this is definitely gonna get rocked sooner than later. But coming in at number 5 is the Air Jordan Retro Undefeated Edition. Coming in at number 4 is the Joe Fresh Goods / New Balance collaboration, the 992 Aged Well Edition. I mean, this shoe is clean, man. The way they put these pinks together, you know, you got that light pink with that dark pink, with the, you know, with a little bit of that tan in there. It makes this shoe pop, man. A great summer shoe. Overall, man, this is definitely a great release. I wasn't the biggest fan of Joe Fresh Goods drops with New Balance. Like, obviously, the first one he ever dropped with him that came out during the 2020 All-Star game, everybody wants those, me included. But like, there wasn't a shoe that he dropped afterwards that I was like, I gotta have it. Until he dropped these. This colorway with all these pinks in it, these are crazy, man. But these are definitely a clean shoe, and I'm glad I got these in my collection. Overall, you know, they're comfortable. I've worn these before. Also, the shoe is a little bit sentimental to me because I took some of my engagement photos in these shoes. I matched the whole fit or the whole colorway around these shoes. That's how cold these was. So, you know, I had to really throw these in the top 10. I really had to throw these in the top 5 due to that reason. So coming in at number 4 is the Joe Fresh Goods / New Balance collaboration, the 992 Aged Well Edition. Coming in at number 3 is the DTLR / New Balance collaboration. These are the 990 V6 DMVs. And the reason why I really like these is because this has like that Nerf type colorway to them. And I know people slept on the KD 4 Nerfs and they retro, but I like this colorway that meshes on the you know, the New Balance 990s, man. Like, this really called out to me when I seen it, and I thought this was gonna be an easy cop, but unfortunately, like, they made these limited. It was only like 500 pairs, and they only dropped them in the DMV area. And so, you know, I had to like kind of struggle to get these, and I ended up having to go to eBay. I paid a little tax on them, but I had study money, so it didn't really tax too much in my opinion. So, you know, these retail for like $220. I ended up paying like $4 for them, but I had like $200 in study money, so it evened out for me. The seller got what they wanted though, but overall, definitely a clean shoe. And as you see, you got that, they give you the orange laces in them. They also give you these laces to go in them. I probably throw the orange laces in them to give them that pop, but these is definitely a great colorway, cold on feet. And since there's only 500 pairs of these made, you're not gonna see too many people wearing these. You're gonna see people wearing the gray version of these, the all black version, etc. And I've done reviews on them on my channel, but you're not gonna see many people, especially outside the DMV area, rocking these on their feet, because it wasn't, you know, it was limited to just that area. So coming in at number 3, this DTLR / New Balance collaboration, the 990 V6 DMVs. Coming up at number 2 is the Nike / Off-White collaboration. You got the Air Force One Sesames. These are clean. Overall, I really love this colorway in the shoe. You know, it's nice but simple. You know, you got that what's that? You got that deconstructed insole inside part of the shoe. Really love that. You know, love how the silver pops off against the sesame, and you know, you got the, you know, the laces. Then you know, you got that off-white, you know, pull tab or whatever that you can put on the other shoe. Just overall, this is a clean shoe. And you know, I had to bite the bullet and pay resale to get these, but these was, when I first saw these shoes, I had to have them, and I'm glad I was able to get these in the collection. Definitely a clean shoe, and definitely a shoe that I love. As you see, I got it at number 2. So coming in at number 2 is the Off-White / Nike collaboration, the Nike Air Force One Sesames. Last but not least, coming in as my number 1 sneaker pickup for 2025. I'm gonna give you a hint. This shoe was a pre-order, so like, I believe I ordered these last year in like 2024, like November, and it took till this year to come in. So coming in as my number 1 pickup is the ALD / New Balance collaboration. Now hold on, let me not butcher this brand's name. AIM Leon Dore. So that's the name of the company that did a collaboration with New Balance. These are the New Balance 993 Pine Grove edition, man. This is a clean shoe. Here you go, you can see that nice green suede on there, and then you got that yellow on there. But the reason why this was my number 1 shoe of 2025 is because this matches my high school colors. I went to Lane Tech College Prep. You know, our colors is green and gold. This is definitely something that I can wear with like a, you know, green suit. Cause my high school does a lot of events in which you can go out to and support, and you know, people have like certain, you know, colors of Lane Tech on them, and this will be something that I wear that nobody knows what nobody has. But this is definitely a clean shoe. This is pre-order. It took like 9 months for the shoe to get made and get to me. You know, I don't see any quality effects, no issues. Got a nice little, you know, nice little hang tag right here. And you know, overall, I like the colorway of this shoe. This colorway is clean, man. Like green, gold with a little bit of white, that little bit of gray in there. It's just a nice clean shoe. And I'm sure these are comfortable because you know these are New Balance. But who would have thought anyways that I had in my top 5, 3 of the shoes was gonna be New Balance. So that just shows you how crazy New Balance is just taking over and doing their thing. But anyways, that is my number 1 shoe of 2025, the ALD / New Balance collaboration, the Pine Grove. All right, guys, that is my top 10 sneaker pickups of 2025. Once again, sorry for dropping this list so late, but if you tuned in, I really appreciate it. Comment down below what's your top 5, top 3, top or best sneaker that you picked up last year. Comment down below and we can chop it up in the comment section. Also, what did you think of my list? Comment down below how you would rearrange my list in your opinion, and we can chop it up about that as well. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, what are you doing, man? Hit that subscribe button. Takes nothing but a couple of seconds, and you'll be notified when I drop future videos. And lastly, peace.